I first realized that I was an FLI when I was applying to college. I was in the middle child of three kids, and we were the first in our family to go to college, and our parents did not speak English. My older sister, Annie, helped me fill out my FAFSA application. In fact, I distinctly remember her saying, here's a copy of our parents' latest tax return, and make sure to make note of the FAFSA PIN number because you will need it later. I graduated from Cornell University with a degree in industrial engineering, and I graduated from Johns Hopkins Whiting School of Engineering with a degree in systems engineering in 2015. I was working full time while pursuing my degree with Johns Hopkins. Today, I am one of the tech workers who was recently laid off, and hindsight is sure 2020. I should have seen it coming for our R&D group when the company was investing $20 billion over the next 10 years building factories in Ohio and another 80 billion euros across Europe to build factories from Germany to Poland. I was part of the Next Generation Systems and Standards Group, supporting the exploration of 6G technology and digital network twin. I was really excited about this group. And this was the group that influences the CHIPS Act recently. It's really fascinating to see where the intersection of companies like Intel works with government policies through trade organizations and present what's going on with university research. Pretty cool stuff. And I'm proud to have contributed to Intel's vision to create technology that can enrich the lives of every person on Earth. If you want to learn more about semiconductor history, I highly recommend this book, Chip War by Chris Miller. It does a pretty good job talking about the technology in more layman terms, especially when it comes to military. I spent the first half of my career in defense and the second half in semiconductors. Let me know in the comment below what I should pursue next. If you are a freshman or sophomore, I highly recommend you talk to recent alums and ask them, what elective courses do you think I should take to prepare you for your major or life in general? I did just that when I was an undergrad and trying to figure out, okay, I have a bunch of electives still I can take, I can decide. One of the electives I decided to take per alumni recommendation was personal finance. It was at the business school, and I learned a lot. Even though it wasn't directly applicable like annuities, I would later learn, many years later, reading Susan Orman's books about advising against annuities. And I had more context because I had taken that course in the business school. As a first generation limited income student, I also highly recommend you check out Ramit Sethi's I Will Teach You to Be Rich book. He himself is a child of immigrants that I connect so well with. He also has a Netflix, so if you don't want to read the book, on how to be rich, maybe that get you reading that book too. If your parents are immigrants from China like mine, who do not like to talk about the painful past, and you are curious, check out Simu Liu's book. We Were Dreamers, an immigrant superhero's origin story. Yes, that Simu, the star of Marvel's first Asian superhero, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Hi, Simu, if you're watching this. He was able to get a lot of information from his parents about the difficult experiences growing up during the Mao Zedong era. It was a period of time where Mao associated literature and studies to be capitalist ideals. Mao's Cultural Revolution, it was called. Instead of, quote, holding a pen, everyone should be holding a shovel and dedicate their time to agriculture. There was huge emphasis on the countryside. Intellectuals were prosecuted. School was limited. And instead, everyone had to follow communist doctrine to churn out food. But China's soil is not as rich as American soil. It is hard work to work that land. That's why you don't see like rich peaches, juicy peaches from Georgia or pineapples from Hawaii. This lasted many years until Mao passed away. Then they opened up limited spots at universities via a national exam called the Go-Co. Since so many have been out of school for so long, like my parents, aspirations to lead a better life through higher education was impossible by that point. This was a book that gave me more context to ask my parents to tell me more in a more pointed way. How many years was it in the Mao Zedong era that you couldn't go to school? Simu parents, though, they beat the odds. Check out the book. I wish I had an FLI mentor to help me navigate corporate nuances of internship logistics and dynamics. It was a summer between sophomore and junior year. I'm going to date myself now. Wait for it. The year was 2007 when I received the acceptance notice for an internship. I was elated. I immediately reached out to HR inquiring about what my housing was going to look like. Surprise. They do not provide housing. They tell me to join some Facebook group that all the interns are a part of and figure it out from there. I was lucky to find two other interns from that group, one from Notre Dame, one from Georgia Tech. Hi, to sign a short-term lease for an apartment nearby, and I would carpool with them to work because I don't have a driver's license, let alone a car for someone who grew up in limited income housing and non-English speaking immigrant parents in New York City. So, also, I never booked an airplane ticket before. So, when the company told me to book a flight and get reimbursed later, I charged credit card a first class ticket from New York City to Greenville, South Carolina, just like I had seen in the movies when people fly for work. Since it was only a 2 hour flight, it wasn't anything fancy. But a week into the internship, I got called into HR office, and you can guess what happened. Two managers, HR, everybody was pissed. They gave me an earful about how I just booked a very expensive ticket and their executives don't even fly first class anywhere. Oh, they were not going to have me fly on their dime. Mm-mm. Nope. They were going to have me take an overnight Amtrak home at the end of my internship. Do you know how it feels to be a 19-year-old Asian kid farthest away she's ever been from home, getting dropped off by her roommates with two luggages at 9 o'clock at night at the train station to board an overnight train alone? I still remember people staring at me as I just proceeded to bawl my eyes out the moment my roommates were out of sight. Oh, the internship? There's more. The manager didn't know what to do with me, so he assigned me to work with this, how do you say, office bully that everybody feared. She had me go down to the manufacturing floor, take two plastic bins at a time, set aside the metal parts meant for welding gas turbine buckets, then take the plastic bins into the bathroom, clean them, wipe them dry so that when I place the parts back into the bin, they would not rust. Every lady that walked into that bathroom expressed how bad they felt for me, but they would not speak up to the bully on my behalf. I couldn't understand how I had worked so hard to get into a good school, apply for so many internships, flew all the way out here to do this engineering internship. Then one day, one of these ladies gave me awesome advice. She said, slow down and rinsing out these bins. Take the time to talk with welders, forklift drivers, all the workers on your manufacturing floor and learn about what they do. Learn about how a gas turbine is made. That was the silver lining. I developed my soft skills so well, I organized all the interns for a session with the welders to learn and create a souvenir, what tick and stick welding. And I've kept mine to this day. This is pretty good pattern. You want to have like a dime, like a stack of dimes that just fell over type of stick welding technique. Maybe I should pursue a career associated with welding, maybe next. Months later, after this internship, I'm at a networking event at an engineering group on campus, and I had told some of the engineering group's member about my horrible internship experience. The company had sent, that particular company was one of the representatives at this networking event. Next thing I know, one of the senior members, who's the president of this engineering group, comes up to me and she's like, "Are you the one bad mouthing this company? And if you are, you need to stop." I felt so ashamed. I I didn't speak up. I made mistakes about booking the wrong ticket, but looking back, I didn't know what I didn't know. And I hope that you learn from this story and speak up, find a mentor, and maybe I wish I had talked to an engineering advisor, had a conversation with an adult at the university. I think if you have internship at the end of it, please share the good and the bad with alumni network or the alumni office at your school. We all strive to make a positive experience for every student, including alumni. And I hope that this story helps you. Difficult stories are hard to share. And I also want to share a book that my friend just published, Surviving in a Man's World, a career woman's toolkit to thrive and achieve greatness. She talks about her engineering career, and I relate to a lot of the stories. I'll share the notes with you in the video below. Please share your comments, and I highly recommend you also check out this book. Thank you. Thank you to Johns Hopkins for giving me this platform to share my story, to share all these resources. I hope that we can help future alumni talk more openly about their first generation limited income experience and also help those understand the experiences that we're going through. Thank you.